Breaking news coming out of Washington as Matt Gaetz has decided to step down and no longer pursue the Attorney General nomination by President-elect Donald Trump. He put out a statement on X, and I want to read that to you right now. He said, "I had excellent meetings with senators yesterday. I appreciate their thoughtful feedback and the incredible support of so many. While the momentum was strong, it's clear that my confirmation was unfairly becoming a distraction to the critical work of the Trump-Vance transition. There's no time to waste on a needlessly protracted Washington scuffle, thus I'll be withdrawing my name from consideration to serve as Attorney General. Trump's DOJ must be in place and ready on day one. I remain fully committed to see Donald J. Trump is the most successful president in history. I'll forever be honored that President Trump nominated me to lead the Department of Justice, and I'm certain he will save America." Now, there's a lot of speculation surrounding this, right? Some people are feeling very uncertain, saying, oh my gosh, this is gonna stop and stall whatever Trump is trying to do from a standpoint of draining the swamp and moving forward with a lot of his actions legally that he wants to take on day one. Others are suggesting, hey, this was a 4D chess move and this was planned all along. It was never really intended for Matt Gaetz to take the role of AG. But what was really happening is they were using him as a way to extract out and identify who within the Republican Party was really an issue, who was a rhino, who was really standing in the way and opposing Trump's plan moving forward as we go into 2025. And so, even though within the Senate, it was a 53-47 majority for the Republicans, a lot of people are saying that John Thune, Lisa Murkowski, and Susan Collins were really standing in the way. And sure enough, those are the three that came out when Matt Gaetz was making this decision before this statement was made by him to step down. And these three stood in his path and said, we are not going to allow this confirmation to occur, thus rendering them being pulled out and showing their true colors on who they really are, standing in the way of Trump's plan. And so they're saying that this is the real reason why this occurred. And a couple things are on the table here, okay? Before I dive into that, let me give you some background on Matt Gaetz and why these people would oppose him to begin with. Now, there's some speculation and some allegations that have been put out about some bad, foul behavior, and you can go research that yourself because regarding some censorship issues, I don't want to put things out there on here that are going to ban this video. With that said, okay, Biden's Department of Justice, being a political opponent and seeing Gaetz as an enemy of the Biden regime, had the ability and the authority to go after him legally. And they did not. They said that there wasn't enough evidence, enough information, so they stopped, stalled, and left it alone and walked off, okay? So if they didn't even pursue it and they didn't go after it, where was the weight and the merit for them to even utilize these things and suggest now that this is the reason why Gaetz is stepping down and this is the reason why he's bowing out because he knows he's been caught red-handed, he's guilty, there's something that they found in him that he's spooked about, and that's why he's stepping down. And if you remember, after on The View, they made some statements about Matt Gaetz, right? Once they heard about his nomination and his pick by Trump to become the new AG, they had some pretty interesting things to say, some choice words. And after they made those choice words, they were then reprimanded and they had to come back out on air and issue an apology and correct the details of that matter. Watch this.
On screen.
What about Gaetz?
Sonny, you have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism, that DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
We'll be right back.
So now, not even 24 hours after that statement, that apology was issued, here we are now with Matt Gaetz stepping down. I don't think that it's attached to that situation. I think it's attached to the fact that he went in, like he said in his statement, hey, I had some excellent meetings with senators yesterday. And the whole intention of that meeting, those meetings, were to extract out and pull out who was really the moles on the inside of the Republican Party, who was going to stand in opposition to Trump's plan and what he wanted to do. And they found him. So now, where do we go from here? Because Matt Gaetz has essentially resigned and given up his seat on the 118th. Does this mean that he gets to go back in and serve on the 119th? Well, some are saying yes. Okay. Some are also suggesting that maybe because Marco Rubio was selected as Secretary of State and that seat is now available by Governor DeSantis through Florida, that perhaps Governor DeSantis was going to give that seat to Matt Gaetz. But it's just come out in a statement that DeSantis is saying, no, he will not be giving that seat over to Gaetz. So is this a move from DeSantis to show his true colors and his opposition to Trump's plan? Or is Matt Gaetz going to serve in an entirely different capacity? And then the question becomes, then who will become the attorney general moving forward? Who will be the next selection or pick for Trump to be AG? Well, there's a lot of names being thrown around, but somebody who would make the most sense to me, somebody who's been fighting alongside Trump since 2016, somebody who helped to get Michael Flynn freed, is Sidney Powell. And Sidney Powell basically would be an incredible pick. If you actually look at this, I think Sidney Powell would make the most sense. Remember, she talked about going after and dismantling the deep state, the establishment. And I think Sidney Powell is one of those people. She is that wild card, if you will, that can get pulled into this and would go through and, I mean, completely decimate the deep state. I'm wondering if this is exactly what's been taking place here. And there's a lot of shakeups today inside of Washington as a whole. But I think Sidney Powell would be an incredible choice. Remember, she's the one that said that she would release the Kraken. And so I'm hoping that this becomes Trump's next pick. And this is maybe who he intended all along to be in that position to begin with. But they needed to extract some information. They needed to find those moles. They needed those people to come out and show their true colors. And when you turn the heat up, typically what happens is those impurities rise to the top. And I think that's exactly what's happened here. Now, in other news, breaking, okay, Chuck Schumer just confirmed another lifelong federal judge with a vote of 50-48. Get this, Republican senators Ted Cruz and Mike Braun didn't even show up to block the confirmations, making it a 50-50 split, okay? And so with that being said, Kamala's obviously in Hawaii, so she couldn't cast the tie-breaking vote. Senator J.D. Vance, okay, is our VP-elect. He still took the time out of his busy schedule to show up and vote. But where was Ted Cruz and Mike Braun? We could have stopped this nomination or at least slowed down Schumer, okay? But if the Republicans were the ones speedrunning confirmations like this, we know Schumer and every Democrat senator would be in town. So what's really going on? Who are these guys? Why is this happening? Okay, things are really starting to heat up as we move forward here. It's absolutely ridiculous, though, to say the least. So there's a lot of things taking place, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. So be sure to drop your comments. Let me know, guys. Is this real? Is this legitimately taking place? Was this strategy? How are things going to shake out moving as we go into the end of the year and end up in January? What type of fireworks are we looking forward to? Not to mention fireworks. False alarm report of ambulances leaving Mar-a-Lago are coming from a fake CBS poll of reporters. Okay. They're not authorized by Team Trump. And a good time to remind everyone that Trump is currently suing CBS for $10 billion. They obviously can't be trusted. So needless to say, fireworks, 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 a lot of stuff happening. Let me know your thoughts. Continue to follow. Make sure you hit that follow button right here on Rumble or YouTube, depending on where you're watching. And guys, every day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, right here live on Rumble, we come broadcasting to you. Love you so much. Thank you for all your support. Until next time, see you soon.